All right, everyone, we are back with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Jolt, your chief host of the show, and joining me, as always, is none other than my co-host, Avira.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back, of course. And happy Spoopy Friday. Yes, of course, it's still October, my season, and I'm freaking loving it. Hopefully, everyone's enjoying the season as well, whether you celebrate it or not. I mean, it's just still such a beautiful time of year. So, I'm just looking forward to it.
Oh, it really is.
Oh
Trees
yeah,
are nice, and it's not just because the trees are nice and amber up there where you're at.
it's still kind of warm. Like it was pretty chilly today, but I'm still not able to like carve my pumpkins just yet. I think I'm gonna wait like another week or so before it really starts to get like actually cold at night. Because sometimes it can still be like in the late 60s, Fahrenheit. So it gets a little warm. But yeah,
Oh yeah, oh yeah, sounds good. Joining us on the show, we'll have our always present interim host, Noble.
I've made so many bad decisions over the years. As a kid, I used to like Michael Jackson's music. I used to laugh at Bill Cosby's jokes. And let's just say later on today, we're going to find out another one of my big oopsies.
Oops.
That kind of does make a bit of us too, and it will kind of emphasize the really big saying, "Never meet your heroes."
I was skizzy,
Right.
bibbity bobbity zoobity bop zip boo, noble zip out.
Yeah,
Oh.
I would have been a little young for the kids say the darndest things, but
I know at that point the heroes will just disappoint you. All right, so next on the show we have Azzy.
What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. And yeah, just having a decent day. Other than get up early in the damn morning, and then took a nap, and then just now I'm here.
Right on, buddy. Well, welcome back. Always great to have you.
Thank you very much.
All right, all right.
All right. We've got lots of stories to go through this week, and a lot of crazy that we've just discovered, and some zany, some that will make you raise your eyebrows, and some that are just plain why. And to really start the ball rolling, we have something over discovered thanks to science just now, and we found very recently. So
Now, might
What?
might I just begin this by saying I just discovered this the other day, but this is something that we all knew. Everyone already knows this. Everyone knows that cats are liquids. It's not just a meme. It's scientifically proven. It does appear to be. So we have yes, cats are liquid, but only in one dimension. So here
What
we
the-
have actual scientists doing studies on this. And guys, I trust the science. And let's observe their conclusions, shall we? 'Cause this is some pretty bonkers, silly stuff that is just so good. So, cats are liquids, at least according to I can't read this. Hold on.
to a running joke on the internet where
Oh
videos
yeah, according to a running
of
joke on the internet.
supposedly solid pet felines oozing under doors, spilling into vases, and pouring through impossibly small holes. Even Google's AI overview says kitties can be classified as fluids. Take that for what's
And
worth.
anyone who has a cat knows this, or anyone who's like been on the internet for like more than 5 minutes also knows this, like just because it's just hilarious. But do cats themselves think themselves as liquid entities that can slip through nearly any opening? Do they know how tall and wide they are? For example, a mental ability scientists call the body size awareness. Interesting.
Uh,
So kind of like octopuses, how they can like squeeze through little tiny holes in the crap, and like they're super intelligent. Well, perhaps cats have a superpower as well. It does appear to be doth be. Can you just zoom in a little bit more on that? Okay, so Dr. Peter recently visited several homes around Budapest, Hungary, to find out. An ethologist at EL University, he spent years researching the feline mind, and he's shown, for example, that like dogs, cats understand what we mean when we point or even gaze at something. Complex reading of body language that eludes many species. But how much do cats really know about their own bodies? Well, apparently they know that they're liquids. That's the whole damn thing. They totally do. Okay. A few years ago, Dr.
Pongrash,
P here,
Pongrash.
right? I think he's, I can't pronounce it. A few years ago, he asked that question of dogs. He and his colleagues brought various breeds into the laboratory, bifurcated by a wood panel, and would adjust with adjustable rectangular opening. Okay, so they're basically explaining the experiment right here. But when the dog got tight, it was wider. So okay, I'm just gonna summarize like this paragraph because the article's getting a little tedious here. Basically, they're saying that dogs kind of just like struggled, and cats knew how to like fluidly move through the obstacle, and that's what they're observing here. So
Like that,
it's
they kind of know
interesting,
that dogs are aware of their own size. Like they hesitated when the
right?
openings got too narrow. But cats, on the other
Yeah,
hand,
like they understood that they're like, yo, I can't do this, but cats are like, perhaps I can change this situation. But dogs are like, bro, I'm too big.
hmm
Perplexing, man.
and even then, like reading this through a bit further, cats do seem to be aware of this as well. They seem to have that same awareness there. The smaller you cut the hole, even
Mhm.
cats will begin to eventually hesitate. So I mean, yes, there is a very, very fine level of fluidity to get. And they'll still keep.
And it is another very interesting thing. This is something that I'm sure we've all heard or learned about, like when we were growing up in like grade school, essentially. That liquids, they take the form of their container, right? That's like a classic line we've always heard. Well, why is it cats love boxes so much? Boxes that they can totally fit into, even if they're smaller than them, right? Like it just seems to be like a natural thing, dude. Right now, I have a box on my dining room table so that my cat doesn't walk on the actual table. He like has his own little special box area, and he'll just jump in his little box and stay there. He'll curl up and like take the form of the box all the time. Like it's so cute. But like yeah, it's that's what cats do, man. Like, but now there's a scientific explanation. Now we know why, because they really are liquid. It's so cool.
Oh yes, and the Earth, then the Moon is made of cheese. Then.
It's a goofy thing to study. Now, obviously, like they're not literally water, but fluid dynamically speaking, it's just kind of funny how they kind of mimic the mathematics of actual water, right? I don't know. As a nerd, I find this hilarious. The scientists literally went out of their time in Budapest to like research all these felines and create a research paper about this, being like, yes, in fact, by the way. This is so funny.
It's
I
like
always thought cats were just a little flexible.
They
Right.
are
Well,
very flexible. Yes.
when you try to pick them up and they don't want to be picked up, like, nah, they're getting away for sure. You know that. But a dog will
No,
eventually just give up.
always. Not always.
Well, if they got claws and I don't know, angry enough, I don't know, man. It's either they fluidly get away from you or they scratch your eyes out. Cats can be mean, man.
Interesting commenter Boombox. Thinks that
Yeah.
says that's bullshit. Cats get their heads stuck in jars all the time, like like
Exactly.
fish bowls and all that. For example,
I've seen those videos. Yeah. I wonder if there's a study involved that.
Oh yes, that they're technically made of glass. Like what?
No, like I've seen videos of like cats that get their heads stuck in jars, but then like their entire body folds into itself into the jar, and then their head pops out the other side. Sometimes it just does not make any sense to me. It literally looks weird, like something happened, like something's broken with their bodies. Now, if any animal would be considered a liquid, I would imagine it would probably be like, I don't know, a frog or like an amphibian or something, right? Like a blobular, like a jellyfish or whatever. Not
I
a cat
mean,
though.
like non-amphibian or water-based creatures aside, like you'd probably argue that the snake is the prime form of an animal being liquid.
Perhaps, yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know. I didn't do a scientific paper on it. These guys in Hungary did, and apparently, our suspicions were correct. So I'm gonna trust the science on this one. I guess it depends on like how old your cat is and how how viscous of a fluid they are.
Next thing
How
you know,
buoyant.
we'll take the
Oh.
cat into a laboratory, and coat it with ooze and gel and all that, and see take it to the next level.
Oh boy.
But no, you're right. It's really interesting that like the physiognomy and that sort of stuff with cats compared to other animals and all that. It's different. Like we tend to like if you use people for example, we tend to know that we're this wide, but and when we squeeze through tight spaces, like how do you like kind of react when you try to squeeze through a tight space? Like say you go back to the research, dogs kind of know that if you the more tighter you make the space, dogs will just start hesitating. Cats will keep trying to do it, but eventually you make it too tight, they'll just say nah.
Yeah, an interesting thing. Remember I mentioned about octopus. If a cat can get its head through a hole, then they will try to squeeze the rest of their body through. I've seen this happen with like a lot of kitten videos, like on them escaping from, their holding cells. Dogs really can't contort their bodies in that fashion. Like they're just built different. But if a cat can get its head through something, the rest of its body's going. For a dog, that's not always not always the case. Like physically, it just can't be. So that's another interesting difference. But yeah.
But it's interesting. Like, let's just take a quick look at this sort of stuff here first as a study. Like, so in the test, of course they make the holes like smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller just to test, like as a representation here, like as the test, can a cat fit through, like contort its way through the hole?
Wow.
Yeah, like they make it thinner, like thinner, and then they make it like short, like less tall, and you know
Well,
what?
there's eventually a breaking point, but it seems like far beyond like what would consider to be like natural, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like cats can do what's actually insane of it. It's great, crazy. And you know what? Like you know what this all means, like for going forward and for the future of science. You know what? Cats can actually actively if they're not already liquid, they can actually like phase change just by virtue of them being cats. Like you know how you go from solid to liquid, you need to heat something up until it like melts down. Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at a loss of words for this one.
No, I've been
I
around
mean,
cats, so I'm not surprised.
yeah, we just needed science to confirm everything for us. And thank goodness, another victory for the world of knowledge. Incredible.
Exactly. All right.
Ah,
So, in that sense,
Oh,
you
look,
know, like
you didn't know
as someone who's I don't get to see this much, but maybe I should like put this to practice. You know, might just have to ask for a cab. You know, maybe, but yes, if you are really keen on doing this, like this is a replicating experiment that you can actually do from the comfort of your own home.
that.
yeah. Uh, get your cat a box, and then he'll jump in there. He'll love it. Okay, cool. And then just progressively make the box smaller and smaller and smaller, and see just how much you can fit into it. And it's
Hmm.
amazing how his shape will actually change and contort to the size of the box because it's just like natural. Super crazy.
Indeed. All right. So for the next item, what we've got here is a bit of an oddball one, and something of a something you'll see that's kind of more modernly.
Oh, my childhood wipo.
So, controversially, why is a back need to be censored?
Right?
Huh?
Because why is it that wasn't it that what's it called? Like, is she showing too much skin? Is she showing too much whatever it is that bats have? I don't know. You tell me.
I
Oh, Nazi. Hmm.
I have no idea. I mean, as far as I remember, this is how Rogue always looked. Like it's
Yeah, it's just how Rouge always has looked like she's wearing this.
Sorry, can I read this?
Sure.
In perhaps one of the most bizarre examples of video game remake censorship seen in the medium's entire history, leaked footage has revealed that Sega has covered up Rogue's the Bat's bare back while at the same time taking no action against Amy Rose for sporting the same look in their upcoming Sonic X Shadows generations.
Huh.
so why are they
This
gonna
Ah,
do?
point, I'm going to be watching the Sonic movies, but I haven't played any of the games for like
I
a
mean,
long time.
as things stand, as far as I'm aware of, then Amy and Rouge are not, and for that matter, like some of the other female characters from Sonic the Hedgehog are not set to make an appearance in the live action Sonic movie. But the games, though, hmm, yeah, that's a bit of a different story.
so
So,
hold on. What exactly, like, can we just like summarize this for a sec? Like, what exactly were the complaints that they didn't like the design, that it had to be changed to censor something? Like, why would they do that though? Did they give a reason? They thought it was too risque to show too much skin, or like, well, what's the issue going on here?
let's have a quick look here. I have no idea what it was, but now, like when they really went through
Or
this
I mean,
remake, but they
from a count,
decided to do this in part of Rouge's outfit.
do you think maybe, and this just might be like a counterpoint? Maybe they just did it, I don't know, for random new design, and then
I
some
don't know,
fans got
or like
upset because it wasn't
just because it's like a
like the
HD
original.
remake and that, but whatever. But
Maybe.
look at the difference here. Like on the left, what you're seeing here is the new censored Rouge with the whole bodysuit that goes all the way through, and on the right is the original
Mhm.
with the exposed part of the back.
The person is right. It really doesn't. It really does not make sense because the wings. It's impossible to
You're right.
fit. It's impossible to fit a skin tight suit.
Hang
Like,
on, wait. So her dress previously went up to the base of the bottom of her wings, but now they've completely encased them.
Right, they've made it like all the way from from shoulder to dingo.
Yeah, that makes. All right,
But
look, I
for a
can.
winged creature, like where's the what? I mean, for normal beings, yes, absolutely, that would make sense for like non-winged, non-winged entities. But for a winged entity like her, where's the logic in that? You're right.
Yeah, there's not even like
You
bumps
know
that
what
show that
could
it's even there. It's weird.
what could actually save this is if they just simply put in cutouts.
Yeah, or maybe like Rouge has
Yeah.
detachable wings or something. I don't know.
Get me the saw.
Or maybe I don't know. This is just one of many costumes she has. Maybe she has different, outfits throughout levels
Mhm.
or whatever. I
Right,
mean,
right, right.
that would make sense too, right? I mean, I remember playing Ratchet and Clank. Like he would update his armor every few levels or so. Like he would get stronger, but like, it would be like a different color, different whatever,
oh yeah.
or different skins even. So, did they make this costume with the specific intention of trying to censor something, or like is that what they're really trying to say here?
Seems like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
If
here's
so,
the
that's
next
weird.
part.
I mean, like who's complaining?
Right, but here's the weird part though. It's not that anybody is complaining about any of this. Okay, before we do that though, last comment. Her shackle. Maybe Bastion is a $24.99 DLC.
Good one.
Um,
Probably like they just cash in on the whole like the retro Rouge skin with the with the bare back.
Yeah, right. Just pay extra for that, then it's fine. Oh my god.
All right, so here's the thing. Here's the weird thing. Like, let's read on to the next part of this. However, while the idea of Rouge showing any amount of quote unquote suggestive skin was seemingly deemed too risque by Sega, curiously enough, the company did not give the same attention to Amy Rose. And here's the thing, though. Here's how Amy usually like shows up in Sonic series.
Okay.
That they're back.
Okay. No,
That's
you
fine.
know what I'm saying? Hold on. Just to take like just look at this image like in its entirety. It's just a bunch of like shapes and polygons. This isn't even
Right.
like. This is not. What are they? What are they trying to say? This is sexualizing a character. There's
Oh my
nothing here. What is even happening? What? What? That's who's offended? What?
How?
I don't even know what this is. If you didn't tell me that's a character, I might think it looks like a freaking, I don't know, a mushroom that fell over under a tree.
All right,
Like,
this is
I don't know.
like Avira. It's probably best to remember that a lot of autistic people really like Sonic. For some reason, I'm not that much of a fan, but the little things people will nitpick are just basically endless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
but
what's the?
okay. Yes, Hazzy?
Yeah. Like what is so sexual about a bare back? It's like it's what is so.
Well,
What
to me,
is
it just looks
so
like a half circle polygon. I don't know.
exactly?
I mean, back in like the 1920s, hell, good golly goodness, if them flappers showed their knees, oh boy, oh no, the men they're gonna go have oh my goodness, you can't believe it.
I mean, it's not like they're were topless, showing their tits and all that, but it's like,
That's a kid's game. I don't know. It's weird.
oh my god, it's even that.
Foreshadowing for what we'll be talking about later on.
A little bit, but for now,
Indeed,
this is
and
a I don't know what this is, but this is really a big issue about what either like double standards or bad or poor, like poorly thought out design elements. Right now, that's the way I see it. But here's the thing though, like you look at the designs of two, like what Sega's been doing right now with this stunt. Okay, like you look at Rouge here, like everybody like first impression, like they're kind of known that this character was designed to be sexy,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Well, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
And then in comparison, you have Amy Rose, like the character who just always keeps crushing on Sonic as a potential live interest, and like wears a dress like this. They're back.
Mhm.
hmm
Oh, we all have seen Art of That. And
Yeah, yeah. So why didn't Sega cover up Amy Rose's back? Is the good question, right?
yeah, it's like why cover up Rogue's back when you can't cover up Amy's back? It's just uh, seems a little contradictory, right?
Well, do you think they're going for like a particular kind of storyline? Like they're trying to push a narrative? Like maybe we want to, ship this particular type of way? I don't know.
Yeah, thinking
It might
that's
be.
what I'm thinking that's what's possibly going on because it seems like it. it's like it's like hey, we're tired of sexualizing women in that way, and it's like how's the sexualization? It's just sewing their backs. That's what I don't
Well,
get.
unless you're attracted to hedgehogs, I mean, you really shouldn't be offended. But that's all I'm gonna say.
And even then, it's just one of those weird things there. Speaking of which, though, if there is one way you could, what's it called, all this with designs, though, you know, if you wanted to make it so pragmatic for something like Rouge or a Winged Creature, maybe the solution is actually this. I'm sure you guys have heard from years past about a sweater called the Virgin Killer.
The Virgin Killer.
Yeah. Like, blame the Japanese for this one, of course. Like, designed by the Japanese, all that. So was Amy and Rouge and all that. But this sweater,
Oh,
you remember
well,
that
that.
meme that came back a couple years back?
Oh my, yeah, that is something.
Yeah.
That looks so annoying to like just put on. You have to like find, okay, where do I put my legs? Oh god, how do I put this around? Like that just looks so tedious.
Yeah.
But okay.
But
I
I
mean,
mean, yeah, normally yes, it would be a bit weird, outlandish, and all that. Like considering its design intent. But I mean, look, put yourself in the shoes. Like suddenly you're a creature and you suddenly have wings. Like this would be like the most, if I dare say, like practical thing for you to wear
Okay.
at that.
See, in that case, Jolt, might I just say the opposite of what I just said? See, if you are an individual who happens to be an anthropomorphic creature which has wings, yes, this would actually be perfect. As a normal human, nah. But yeah, this would be cool.
I actually
Yeah,
did.
I could see that.
I was about to say a little bit earlier is that I actually seen a few women actually wear this. It doesn't really look good on them unless they have wings.
Well,
I
I
mean, of
imagine
course,
this would be good for cosplay. Like if you're going to
yeah,
like
of course,
Comic-Con or something. Yeah.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course, this would be amazing for cosplay. That sweater.
Mhm.
Or of course, the other place you'd probably wear it is at a friggin' club. In which case,
In that case, I go back to my human comment about that being so tedious and annoying just to put on, and
yeah.
no, like get caught on like a doorknob or something.
Mhm.
That just looks annoying. I don't know. I wouldn't even bother.
Oh, and speaking of this sort of stuff when it comes to design and all that, though, here's another design thing that I'm kind of been genuinely curious about. Like, entertain my curiosity here. There are people who draw bats with wings on their back, and there are people who draw bats with anatomically correct wings that go run down like all the way from the armpits to the I guess to their hip.
Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. And as a preferential question, like which do you think would would let's
Oh,
entertain the idea.
the arms or wings. The arms or wings, 100%. That would be like if you're gonna be a bat, like if your persona is a bat, I would say you gotta go all in. Like, dude, their thumbs are the tops of their wings, and like their fingertips, like their hands are their wings, man. That's what bats like. That's what's really cool about them. So yeah, of course, that's the way to go, right?
Yeah, that's in the natural bat physiognomy, like that's the skeleton and all that and all of that.
Yeah, well, like why would you have 2 arms and 2 legs as a bat and then have wings? Like you might as well just be like a variant of a dragon at that point. I mean, what the
Right,
hell?
like same argument too. Like wyvern. You're not a wyvern unless your arms are wings.
Exactly. Yeah, they gotta be.
Yeah, yeah, and very
In
few
my
like
opinion, in my humble opinion, now I'm sure there are probably some bat sonas out there that maybe do it differently, but
yeah,
I'm just saying, if my sona was a bat, that's what I would do.
and I think I basically like the more realistic it is, the more satisfying it is to look at.
Yeah, and dude, imagine having that that fursuit too. If you can actually like bring the wings like down your entire arms, and like as
Mhm.
your hand moved,
Yeah,
like so did your wings. Oh man, that would be so good. I've seen some very impressive bat suits that actually do things similar to that. Very
hmm
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
And not just that though, like there's so much more ramifications you can do with a back wing thingo. Like you could, if you were very, very clever enough as a tailor, you could double up as a first wingsuit.
Hmm. Well, I don't know if I'd go jumping off cliffs in that,
With
but
right.
I mean, okay.
Mhm.
If I were a professional wingsuiter who does jump off cliffs, then yes, I would. The company that I get my wingsuit from, of if I was a furry. Oh wait, no, I am a furry. I mean, if
Self
I was a
awareness
furry
fail
that
there.
did wingsuit, you know what I mean. If I was a furry that actually did wingsuit jumping crazy sports, I reach out to the company and be like, all right, man, you know what? Instead of this parachute, can I get a custom parachute that looks like this and such and such? Yeah, I'm sure they would do it, given the right price. Of course they would. Oh, that'd be gnarly.
I know. It's got to be happening. And why
Hey,
hasn't It's so weird. Like why hasn't anybody gotten the balls to do that just yet? It's shocking.
well, hey, we've seen some cool stuff. We've seen I mean, Foxler goes jet skiing. He's
Yeah.
gone regular skiing. He
Yes.
does crazy sports like that and stuff, all in fursuit.
I know.
Hot air ballooning. I mean, maybe the next hot air balloon trip you can custom build a freaking first furry raiders insignia.
Right.
That'd be
I
cool.
mean,
But
heck, I mean, to start with, you'll need a fursuit that doubles up as a wingsuit, and somebody has to take the inaugural flight.
oh
That's
yeah,
that's
that
the
too.
biggest challenge. Yes.
And you always have to have a parachute with you as well, just in case.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah, that's how wingsuits are essentially designed. Another thing, but that's another thing I've noticed too. Like the lack. Another thing I've kind of noticed too is the lack of not like games or whatever piece of media where an anthropomorphized bat, whatever you want to call it, is not drawn depicted as anatomically correct. Like, why do you think that might be? Is it
Yeah.
because it is too complicated to do the modeling, or is it because it's too complicated to if you had to clothe them?
You mean like in video games? Yes, I think the clothing issue would be a very big problem.
Hmm
Specifically, like color design and like how the arms would move. If they're going like the anatomically correct route, you have to imagine, of course, the wings will be from the armpit down to the wrist. Like the hands, basically. So they would have to have what sleeves down to where. You have to think about that,
Right, and
and of
then you have
course,
to think how
movement
you
for
gonna
like
yeah
the
if you want to
skin in
do
between.
Mhm. exactly.
It's a lot to animate, like just for those simple movements. So
Yeah,
it's probably going to be like a lot just like on the system itself.
yeah, and if you were trying to do a rouge, like if you tried to put an anatomically correct bat in a skin tight, in a skin tight suit, the design,
So
the zippers and that.
they could do something like Spyro the Dragon, where he's like a quadruped running around, but instead of like his two front legs, his wings could just be part of his arms because he
Mhm.
doesn't hold things anyway. They can pretty much incorporate
Yeah.
both of that, and that would be pretty much the anatomy of a bat. But that's not how bats walk. They fly,
Yeah, yeah.
so they don't run on all fours. So it would be a little weird. I don't know. That's up for game developers to decide how
Or
to
designers,
perfect
yeah,
it
even
or
designers
not.
though, because there are ways
That's tricky.
to break it though, to break the design. If
Mm.
if you know how to look at it, if you understand your anatomies, there are ways to fully break and design and all that. See?
Well, I'm sure you've seen fursuiters at cons, like bat fursuiters that have the
Yeah.
wings, and they do like literally like the bat pose, and they can like engulf themselves like in a cape of their own wings.
Exactly.
Like
That's
it looks pretty
and that's
cool.
exactly what the arm
Yeah,
moves are, flourishing like a cape.
yeah.
I actually know a couple furries that have the with the realistic looking bat wings, under their arms and everything. Like it's pretty cool. Like it's really
Yeah, right
it's really
on.
cool. Some of them even have the veins in the wings, which was pretty detailed. It's it's amazing.
Oh yeah, man. It's all about that performance, right? Like when you really put effort into like a costume, you're like, man, I got to show this off, and yeah, that's pretty cool.
And
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. So now we're going to that aside, like just as a well, I mean, dragging things aside though, let's go on to the next item for the show. And I think, and this is where we all get into, territory that just shouldn't be just why. So just to set the stage for you, like something very very recent has happened, affecting Pokemon, and a leak, and well, likely like a leak, a massive information, an information leak or a hack happened just quite recently.
Basically, some people decided, or at least one person decided, let's see what we can get from Nintendo or from Game Freak servers. And yeah, they posted that shit on a Google Drive. So people have been going through a fair amount of it, and yeah.
There is a
And,
lot, like there's a lot of it to unpack as well, and it's not, and a lot of it's got, and start things off, we've
before
got
we get
things
into
like
it, but could you just like explain like for us and like the audience like what a Game Freak server actually is, and like what that means for this hack, so people
Basically,
kind of
it's the
understand the
company.
severity of what happened.
It's where the company kept a lot of their data.
Oh, okay, so they hacked into like the corporate data for. Okay,
Yeah.
wow. Do you think this was
there's a,
an organization that did this, an individual, or does it
I
really
mean,
matter?
there's a lot you can say about it, a lot of like why the hack happened, like somebody wanted to get into it, or God forbid, this was karma for them suing Palworld.
I say it's revenge. I
Do
really
you
hope
think that
this
might be a
is.
motive? It might actually be. Oh my goodness.
Despite the fact I have an actual Pokemon icon on, yeah, I really hope this is someone who got seriously pissed at the whole Power World thing and thought, right, let's screw with them.
You might just be correct about that. Oh my bonkers. Maybe.
So,
So, what
specifically in the
actually
Raiders
happened?
chat, someone did ask about the whole Tythosian thing, and the simple way to put it is that it's law, or I think it was supposed to be some sort of law, for the game franchise, but it never got submitted. Where a girl goes out, gets kidnapped by one, and she ends up having a child. The Pokemon ends up being killed, and those two just run off into the woods together. That's squeezing it down significantly. And Joel, can I share the images of the response from the internet?
Do. This has just become like a very, very it's such a memeable thing. And it just makes me wonder who the heck writes this stuff.
So this is stuff that people have drawn themselves, and it's just been hilarious for me. You're just like Kimberly. That's a good one.
I just want to clarify that this did not come from like DeviantArt or anything like that. This was directly from the Pokemon developers, right? Or is this a response?
The stories that have come out are allegedly from Game Freak and were allegedly or potentially going to be a part of the franchise, but didn't. Now that one raises a lot of questions
this was
right
inspired,
there.
Then. Yeah. Oh boy! So this was inspired. I see.
These are, if I'm to understand correctly, there is a lot of screwed up stuff in Pokemon, especially if you go through the Pokédex entries. Go through there if you want to die a little inside. So if these stories are in fact from the Game Freak servers, then they were poorly translated using AI crap. So there's probably a few things that are off, but honestly, half of these are just nuts, and Typhlosion's just one. Eventually we'll get into the good ones, but these are images I found on both For Affinity and E621 that I thought were just
God.
Okay.
If anyone knows about
that could be anything. They could be talking about a battle. You don't know. God. Oh, goodness. Good golly.
That's a good one.
Oh my god.
That one was a little popular on Twitter.
Oh, with Vaporeon. Oh no. Oh, stop it with that.
Jesus.
Yeah, Vaporeon's
That's a good one.
I love the chat log.
My goodness. They memed the Genius.
Oh, they're missing a few there, but I mean, okay.
Yep.
What was that, Joe? Oh, that's cute.
I can.
Really?
Yeah, when people find out about your dirty secret. Or in this case, the secret from your ancestors. But no, if you look at the stories themselves, go look at mythology. Go look at Greek mythology, British mythology, Egyptian mythology. I mean, holy shit. From all around the world, you do find that this is basically commonplace.
The cringe level in this one is like 150, if not.
Oh, yeah, it is. But I just love how people are and have, in fact, overreacted to all hell regarding it. Now, there were other things that were released in the leak. For instance, there are the actual proper character sheets, so the setties. So the original ones that were initially sold online for a shit ton of money, you've got like decent PDF qualities of them now. There are the actually color sheets, which include the Pantone codes for the Pokemon now. Oops.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm going to stop there.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about. The pan codes for Pokemon, couldn't that just be copied and sold to anybody?
Okay, so when it comes to manufacturing, you want to get a product with the same color all the time.
Right.
So, for instance,
hex
the
codes. Yeah, you use those.
McDonald's yellow is going to have a Pantone color. Now, that Pantone color is replicatable by practically any factory that has basically Pantone shit.
Like a laser scan and able to replicate the dyes. Yeah, I know how that works. Yeah.
Something similar,
Okay.
except you don't need to scan it. You have the code. That's all the Pantone is.
So it's just another one. Okay.
And the leaks included this. It also included games, some pre-builds of the Pokemon stuff. There's a bunch of stuff as well. There's apparently also the Pokemon XY game that's PC, but that hasn't been released yet, quote unquote.
Oh goodness. Well, all right. So what does that mean, like advantage wise? Okay, so they saw the color scheme for the new Pokemon that haven't been released yet.
No. This isn't the new
to,
Pokemon. This
is anyone going to lose money
the new
over this?
Pokemon information has been released. But so, for instance, Mightyena, if I wanted to get the colors 100% accurate on a print, I have the sheet to do that. I do have a printer that is Pantone, that does have Pantone certification. So I could print out something. I could print out a sheet of paper with the accurate colors.
Right, but it's not like the company has a patent to a color. I mean, the color just exists because it's just a color. You can't patent that, right?
No.
Can you?
When I say patent, I don't mean a patent as in law thing. I mean the design.
Oh, this goes deep.
Yeah, the way to put it is that Pantone basically standardized colors so that if you had 10 different factories producing the same thing, those 10 different factories are able to get the same color.
Yeah, makes sense.
And the printer I have does have Pantone crap in it, so it is able to print out stuff in that color, as long as I've got the paper settings correct. You don't want to screw up cardstock. Shit.
All right. So how does this affect the whole Pokemon situation?
This is stuff that shouldn't have gotten out into the public.
Ow. Okay.
So it's like if someone goes into a retail store and they go out the back and they see all the promotional posters and stuff that staff are supposed to understand and know, and put the fake smile on their face. It's like going to Disney World and going to the underground and seeing Mickey Mouse basically with his head off and smoking a joint. Not exactly something you want to see, or something that should be seen.
Okay, I get it. So it's okay. If it's damn serious. If Mickey Mouse is smoking a joint, you know it's serious. Okay. But I get what you're saying, man. Okay.
So that's why he gets all jittery and shit at Disneyland. That's why he acts like he's all high all the time.
Basically, a lot of the stuff that shouldn't have gotten out into the public is now public. The Pokemon settings are basically went completely batshit crazy. There was also box art. The thing that pissed me off is that there was some idiot on Twitter said that, well, the price of box art's basically going to crash. And it's like, no, not very many were released. And even then, some of them were either just showing the bend lines along with the proper background. Pokemon Fire Red is the only Australian box art that was released that is complete, the type that should be sent to the printers for printing, which for me is good because I'd love to print that out and make one. But there's no gold and silver, there's no red blue, there's no now that's the stuff sent to the printer. That's not the cut lines, the fold lines. So it kind of pisses me off the way that some people are advertising this as being complete and it's not.
You said like blueprints of, not blueprints, but like maps of like the locations, right? Like the level layout, basically. Was that not supposed to be leaked to the public?
For what?
What you just said.
Okay, so the box art. The box art isn't something that should be released publicly.
Oh yeah,
And
no,
that's
no.
what was in the leaks as well. Online, people,
Oh.
some idiot on Twitter said something about how the price of boxes, so the original boxes, are going to basically crash because now everyone can copy them all. No, they can't. You can make a semi-perfect copy of the Australian Fire Red box, but that's it. There are a couple of Japanese ones and that, and a fair few of them, it's the box art, but then it's overlaid with the fold and cut lines for the actual box art. So it shows you how to make the box, but you've got additional stuff on it.
Right.
Now, I
Interesting.
want to get into more of the other leaks as well, like, and not just the whole, not, and there's some stuff here that what was also discovered is a trove of unused materials and unreleased Pokemon that we could, and if they were released, we wouldn't have gone some staples that we'd now, grew to like. And one of these, like this rabbit here, water rabbit, could have been one of the starter Pokemon in here that would have taken Mudkip's spot, supposedly.
So this is just one of the. So in this leak, this is one of the Pokemon that was one of their discarded ideas, right?
Right, like unreleased, of course.
This was never
It
going to
was
see the
never,
light of day.
it just never got into the finished product.
Whoa, hold on a second. Can you scroll up a little bit? Maybe zoom in, guys. If you're looking at this image, do you know what the background is? This is actually an optical illusion. If you look diagonally up and down, the water looks like it's moving.
Yeah, I can see that too. It's
This
almost as
is
if it created
actually.
a ripple.
Yep.
Oh,
So this
yeah.
is an optical illusion that they used. Wow, that is very creative marketing. Oh, good for them. Okay, what's wrong with this Pokemon? I love it already. Why did they get rid of this? This is cool. Wow, look at the background, dude. It literally is rippling. That is so
Could you
freaking
imagine
cool.
if they had all starters as bunnies for the current generation?
I mean, we got a rabbit one, we got this one.
Feels
Joel,
like
I
a-
just sent you
Yeah.
something. If you could open it.
Sure. You were saying something about the box art. Just a second.
Oh my god, just looking at that background just makes me feel like I'm
Yeah,
tripping.
pretty groovy, right? That's
Yeah,
an optical illusion. It's
Yeah,
yeah, looks like it's moving, man.
yeah. Oh,
Now,
I
to get back into Noble's point, this was about. This is a box art. Like
Okay, so this.
what as you can see, like all this stuff is like meant to be printed out.
So, while yes, this is meant to be printed, this shows the cut and fold lines for the box itself. This is something that
Okay.
shouldn't have been released to the public. The only thing you'd have to get right is the sizing. The downside is if you were to try to use this, you'd have to remove those green lines. Otherwise, the edges are going to have all these green lines on them.
right.
Yeah,
But you can see what I mean. Can you see all the green lines?
Yeah, I see the plus sign right in the middle there too.
Yeah, that would be a template for both cutting and folding.
Yep.
And it's like, and this is basically in manufacturing. This is stuff that should not be released to the public.
right? Like it should be like already done. Like it should be already done without people having to do it by themselves. You know what I mean?
and yet the
Or I
people who
wonder
found
if
it,
you're
like,
like,
managed to get, got access
if
to that sort of
if,
thing.
if you're working there, like, who is actually releasing this? Like, is it a spy or something, or
Well,
is it someone that works there and they just?
someone allegedly broke into into Game Freak's network and simply downloaded these files and more.
No, see, like I don't know if I totally buy it though. I don't know. That just sounds weird to me. That I feel like they either had help, like inside job or something. I don't know.
Vera, this happens all the time.
The leak is weird. It just fishy to me. I don't know. I would like an investigation to like see what the heck actually happened here.
Well, Nintendo already did an apology because
Of
data
course they
from
did.
the actual employees were also leaked as well. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sending another thing
it
to
still could have been one of
Jolt
the
now,
employees. It still could have been, man.
but there are other
He
things
could
that
have been one
were.
of the leakers.
There are other things that were also, leaked that's supposed to be, kept secret. Not just like pre-builds of games, not just early builds of games, not oh shit, some of the other stuff Game Freak have been working or released were just nuts. But
Yeah,
has that
yeah,
file
it's crazy.
downloaded on your end, Jolt?
Yeah, and one of the leaks is basically the booklet that comes with the game that you buy, and that's packaged in with the game. And you know what? And it takes me back because now they don't do this sort of thing no more. They don't print out instruction manuals for games no more. They don't print out all these extra
Oh, right.
tidbits.
See,
Oh, I
the
missed
thing that you need
those.
to
Yo, just went to
realize,
that.
Avera, the thing is, can you see those lines around the page?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They're cut lines.
it's basically a
I
template
know.
for,
Yeah.
again, like, cutting, folding, and assembly of the booklet.
If you're doing
Yeah.
manual printing, so with plates, those lines help you line up each sheet with the page, so you don't get like a weird ghosting or mirror effect because the colors aren't correct.
So basically, I'm sure everyone can kind of come to the conclusion that the damage that could be dealt here is that if this was, again, leaked to the public and everything, people could be pirating games and pretending to be selling them as if they are the real thing and make them look as real as possible. And, they're
With
going to be losing
with
money.
the
So the company doesn't want that to happen.
nowadays,
That's why
not
they
so
crack down like
much.
this. Well, back
For
then, like that's why
instance,
they did
yeah,
things like that. That's why they even had those lines to begin with. That
but
were private.
with the right equipment, anyone can make a proper copy of this stuff.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
No, not maybe. They
I don't know,
can.
man.
If you that booklet, as long as you get the cover page to it, that's it. You can make a perfect copy. If you've got the similar type, if you've got the same,
They gotta have
if
some
you've got a
good
printer,
equipment because, like, I can tell it's a fake game.
if
Like,
you have
if
the
someone
right
told me a
printer and
bootleg,
cutter and everything, you can just make copies. And because these
and
aren't
I agree with
scanned
you,
in,
you can.
you make perfect copies. That's the concerning thing about this.
Yeah, that's it's crazy. I was just gonna say, like, yeah, I could tell the difference between like a bootleg copy of like Spyro the Dragon and like the original one.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
now you can't. And the only thing that I haven't found so far that wasn't released yet, at least, are the original stickers for the cartridges.
Right.
If those are released, well, shit.
That's a good point, man. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Piracy. The
Wow,
problem with
that would be
piracy,
spooky.
if you were in the if you were in the market of making bootleg copies of these games, the biggest issue is that the actual stuff you get usually has like little dots. So when you copy that and try to print it, you're going to have like this rastering pattern that's irritating. With this stuff, you don't have to piss fart around. All you have to do is just do a test print to make sure that A, the color looks right, and B, it's the right size. That's it. There is no scanning in. There's no work with Photoshop if you want to make sure it looks properly. There's no piss farting around trying to get the, it's just print out, make sure the colors are right, make sure it's cut right, make sure that it's the right size. That's it. It's like 10 times easier.
Yeah.
The thing that really has Nintendo probably in their panties in a twist is the fact that the next generation Pokemon stuff has also been released. That was in this leak.
And by next generation, you don't just mean like Pokemon Legends ZA and like
No,
whatever
Legends
future
ZA
titles.
was a cancelled game. I'm talking about the next generation of Pokemon.
Oh, the 10th generation.
Yeah. That was in the leak as well.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
shit.
Now all
Whoa.
these now all of these people like making these like sort of making their own like basically like covers of games and stuff. It kind of reminds me back before when before GTA 6 came out. Do you remember those YouTubers saying that, "Oh, hey, I bought GTA 6," and then they're obviously fake like discs and stuff. They're obviously fake like covers and shit.
Well, it was a meme for the longest time, like years. People were talking, "Oh, we got such and such before GTA 6." Yeah, of course. It was, silly stuff.
And it's like and you can see the bullshit right through their faces. That's what's funny about it.
Well, yeah, of course they were just joking around about it. Whatever.
Well, yeah.
But yes, at the end of the day, though, I think the one that we have, well, of course, we do have to talk about the one thing that everybody in the leaks has been really interesting, and that is all the weird stories that also got out, got out there as part of the lore and the world building, and like you said, and it's oddly like you said, a lot of the things were kind of missing. Well, not to say that it's missing translation, but a lot of the stories there are like inspired from mythologies.
Yeah.
And and a lot of the world building was like the whole, what happens when when the whole thing with humans and Pokemon basically go to get afraid, go to weird lengths. So
Pokemon. So I believe the main issue people take is a lot of the rape that occurs in these stories.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh.
See, Pokemon. I don't know, man. Reading some of the Pokédex stuff kind of really spooks me out a bit. Did you know that there's a Pokemon that's shaped like a balloon, so that he can like lure children to their death and like he eats them?
Oh my god.
Yeah, and there's like another Pokemon who's basically a ghost. I think it's like a blanket, and it has something to do with a corpse. I mean, I don't even know, man. Like,
Mimikyu. If you see Mimikyu's actual form, you die.
oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Something like evil and demonic, and what the actual crap is that? Yeah. And but there's more. There's even more crazy Pokemon even out there, like totally bonkers. I would never even want to live in this world. But
Right.
yeah,
The balloon Pokemon that you mentioned.
yeah, you know that one. Oh,
It kind of
Drifloon.
reminds me. It kind of reminds me of it. You want a balloon?
I think it was probably inspired by Stephen King. It probably was. But
We all float down here.
no. Did you read the Pokédex for Alakazam?
No.
You know he's a 5,000 IQ. That's like a
Oh.
human times a ridiculous number. Like, nah, man, it's insane. He could like rule the world. Like a single one of them would just take over. How in the hell is like are people enslaving this thing? That is scary stuff. Anyways, aside of my Pokemon fears, what were we talking about?
I mean, a part of it was like, they basically got to document the stories that were written in Japanese. I guess they just ran a machine translator through it. Like, I'm still discovering bits and bobs of this too. Like, there's a lot to discover, but at the end of the day, it's it's just a bit weird. Like, it's a whole, like, as of for the intensive time, like, it's a whole new rabbit hole to dig out and deal with. But if you want to dive into that, then yes, then there is, yeah.
Right now, yeah, I really don't think so. This story did just come up earlier.
Yeah, but a lot of it's a bit.
Yeah. Of course, on this show, we've spoken about the horrors of AI and automation and jobs and stuff. And
But, well, I
yeah,
guess in the end, it was a bit of an odd thing. But yeah, I'll just close out with a bit of a live comment here. Shackle, isn't the whole point of the Pokedex is written by 10-year-olds? I mean, yeah, you could argue that it's
No.
written by people with over imaginative imaginations. So,
The
No,
Pokédex
what's scary?
is
It's written
written
by
by the
Yeah.
professors in the actual regions.
Yeah, it's written by the professors for 10-year-olds. Like,
So
okay, kid, yeah, here's your Pokeballs. Go out in the world. You're like, okay,
the
here
idea
you
of
go.
the actual anime itself is that the Pokemon get sent to, I think in the game as well, they eventually make their way back to the professors. They study them, they do a little thing, and then they ship out this is what the Pokemon is. Can you imagine if a 10-year-old were doing descriptions of Pokemon?
it was just this is a big floaty balloon. That's
This thing makes me go, ow.
yeah, it is. Like, this thing produces lightning bolts from its cheeks, and so on
This
and
thing
so
bites.
on.
Oh my goodness.
But yes, as things stand right now, this is all the time we've got for the show, and it's quite a bit of crazy things that we've gone through this week. Could have been wilder, but here we are. So, who'd like to make up a quick closing statement for all this?
Azzy.
Well, again, it's a lot to process. But the one with the rogue, which is my childhood waifu. I mean, leave her back alone. Like, it's it's not sexualization or anything like that. It's literally just she's always been like that. Like, leave her alone. Like, don't it just doesn't make sense. Like don't cover her back because she has wings, it's no. But now for the Pokemons, I it's interesting, even though I'm not a Pokemon fan like whatsoever, but some of the art though, it's something to be it's something I'd expect from E621 or some shit. But now the cats being liquids thing, it's like I said, it's if cats are liquids, then the moon is made of cheese and the earth is flat. Like it's in that logic. It's like it's just these people are just even though some of the scientists though, like, and and keep in mind these are the same scientists that said that there is like 150 genders. Like it's ridiculous.
All right, man.
But yeah, that's all I got. Like I said, it's a lot to process.
Alrighty, Noble, what do you think about today's, well, I guess this week's bonkers stories?
Well, I've been around plenty of cats to understand just how flexible they are. Sonic, just stop making these sort of changes, please. Pokemon, on the other hand, has just been a boy, oh boy, this is nuts. And yeah, Typhlosion was my first Pokemon because I had Silver as my first game. So I definitely pick them, don't I?
Right. It's odd, like, whereas with my story, I was the one who ended up getting Totodile because my brother ended up picking, Typhlosion. So, yeah. Yeah, this stuff just sticks with you. And Evira.
All right, guys. Well, I do trust the science. Might I say, I have 2 cats, and yep, they are absolutely fluids. I can attest to that. So, no,
You know what?
that was just like one of the weirdest like articles I've seen. Like I had to just like send it to Joel. Like I don't know, I saw it like the other day. I was like, wait, what? Really? Why? Why are scientists looking into something? Why though? Like, they got paid grant money to write this paper and have it published in a scientifically peer-reviewed article. All right, whatever, fine, cool. Yo, cats are liquid, man. What the heck? That was crazy. I don't know. I just thought that was
That
goofy
kind
as
of
hell.
reminds me. You know what Bruce Lee says? Be water, my friend.
Oh man. And with us, Sonic, bro, she's a fictional Polygon character. Let her be. Or if different players want to play with different skins, they can either pay for that with microtransactions, and then people can go protest that more. So we'll see how I don't know, angry people get about this. I just think it's kind of a weird thing to get mad about. She has wings on her back, man. Like, bro, it makes practical sense. Get real. That's every fantasy character. I mean, my goodness. Oh my god. Ah, so stupid.
Cringe, too.
Anyways, right now it's just about a little after the middle of October, so I hope everyone is getting all of their Halloween stuff together. If you haven't already, go out there, go pumpkin picking. Like I said, in about a week or so, I'm gonna give you an update on what kind of pumpkins I get and what kind of design I'm gonna be carving. So I'm gonna be posting that in Raiders and stuff, and maybe keep you updated in like next week or whatever. So aside from that, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. That's it.
Likewise.
Joel?
And thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did, coming through all the crazy and finding out what the heck have we just stumbled upon. If you like us, you can always find our episodes on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Play.fm, iHeartRadio, BitChute, and more further down the line. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. That's all we have for the week, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
That is.